Alright, so 2023's Knock at the Cabin is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, screenplay by M. Night Shyamalan, Steve Desmond, and Michael Sherman, based on the book The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. It's essentially about this little girl and her parents who go to this cabin for a vacation when this group of people show up and tell them that they must sacrifice one of the three of them in order to stop the apocalypse. Amongst the cast, you have actors like Dave Bautista as Leonard, Jonathan Groff as Eric, and Ben Aldridge as Andrew, the couple in this film. We also have Kristen Coy playing their daughter Wen. We have Nikki Amuka Bird as Sabrina, Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley himself, as Redmond, and Abby Quinn as Adrienne. Right off the bat, I should say, I'm not the biggest M. Night Shyamalan fan. I've seen Old, I've seen Split, I've seen Glass. Obviously, I've seen this one. I've seen Happening with Mark Wahlberg. But aside from that, I haven't seen any of his other films. Oh, wait, and The Last Airbender. Almost forgot about that one. Kind of wish I would have. But yeah, out of a majority of his films that I've seen, I just didn't really care for him all that much. The one outlier in there is Split. I did enjoy that film, but I'm not as crazy about it as a lot of other people are. But when it comes to Knock at the Cabin, this one does stand out of all the films I've seen made by him. And before I get into the twist aspect of this movie, I'm sure a lot of people want to hear what I have to say about that. I do want to mention that I do really like the story in this film as well as the performances. The fact that it all takes place just in this cabin gives those performances a lot of room to breathe. Of course, Dave Bautista is a huge standout in here. He is incredible in this film. He is one of the best, if not the best, wrestler turned actors in my opinion. I have to agree with James Gunn on that one. But the other big standout in here is Ben Aldridge. I recently saw him in a film called Spoiler Alert with Jim Parsons, which I would highly recommend checking out. That film broke me, honestly, and I think he brings another incredible performance here. I do think that the story kind of focuses on his character as opposed to Jonathan Groff's character when it comes to the couple in this film, but still, I think he was great. And I'm sure some of you are curious how Rupert Grint was in this movie. He was doing an American accent, and honestly, I thought he did pretty great. He was just a crazy character in his own way. One last thing I'll say before I get into the twist aspect. My only real complaint about the movie is that I think the second trailer in particular kind of gave away a little bit too much, kind of showed a little bit too much of what happened, whereas I feel like if they wouldn't have showed that, it would have left a little more intrigue for the film. I guess one last sidebar, kind of a complaint, is that by the end of the film, I was a little bit underwhelmed. And that leads me into the twist aspect of this film, which if you looked at the thumbnail, yeah, there really isn't one. Did this film in particular need a twist? I don't think so. But when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan, it's something that people go into his movies expecting. So the fact that you don't really have one can leave a lot of people disappointed. But at the same time, if you market an M. Night Shyamalan film and say that there's not going to be a twist, how many people are realistically going to go see it? And for me personally, I did go into it thinking there was going to be a twist. And I was trying to theorize what that twist would be. About the 30-minute point, I thought I completely figured it out. And if that had been the twist, it would have been painfully obvious just from the trailers alone. Obviously, I won't say what that is for the sake of spoilers, so you guys can see that for yourself. But again, no twist in the film, which I think is a good thing to know going into it. And again, that might turn some people off because if you go into an M. Night Shyamalan film, like I said, that's something that you expect. And if you're not getting it, not everybody's going to want to go see it. And for that reason alone is the reason why I was underwhelmed by the end of the film. Not really for any other reason, just that. Overall, a very entertaining film, a film with really great performances in it, a really great story, a really great premise, but overall, it did leave me a little underwhelmed by the end. There were things I expected in the film that we didn't get, so overall, I'm going to have to give it a standard ticket. Definitely worth watching in theaters, but maybe not quite as much when it comes to VOD, Blu-ray, or DVD. Have you seen 2023's Knock at the Cabin? If you have, let me know down in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle? Please let me know without spoiling anything for the people that haven't watched it. And if you haven't watched it, are you planning on watching it anytime soon? Why or why not? I'd also love to know that down in the comments below. Any comment you leave, I would love to hear from you. I respond to pretty much all of them. But go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and I will see you in the next one.